Deep down in the silent depths of the Arabian Sea, way beneath the roaring waves, lies a secret, a mystery that's thousands of years old. It's the story of a magnificent city, a kingdom once ruled by a god that's now lost to time. Today, we're diving into the legendary lost city of Dwarka. But here's the question that really sits at the heart of this entire story. What if that legend wasn't just a legend? What if a city you only read about in ancient texts, a place of immense power and beauty, was actually found, for real, perfectly preserved at the bottom of the ocean? Because that's exactly what happened. 130 feet below the surface of the Arabian Sea, archaeologists found precisely that, these sprawling, unmistakable ruins of a once great city. A discovery that honestly has the potential to rewrite history as we know it. So let's start with the modern-day discovery. This is the moment where science and sonar first laid eyes on a myth, uncovering an archaeological marvel that had been hidden from the world for millennia. And what the dive teams saw was just astonishing. This wasn't just a few scattered stones. They found a massive, planned city laid out in a grid-like pattern. We're talking grand granite walls, huge gates, and structures with intricate carvings you could still see after thousands of years underwater. They even recovered artifacts like pottery that, through carbon dating, was found to be over 9,000 years old. That just paints a picture of a highly advanced, ancient metropolis that challenges everything we thought we knew about early civilization. So, here's a crucial point to understand, because it can get a little confusing. There's the modern city of Dwarka on the coast of Gujarat, famous for its temple, and then there's Bet Dwarka, an island just a few kilometers away. The ruins we're talking about, they were found off the coast of Bet Dwarka. That's the site that really connects to the ancient legend. Can you just imagine the awe of the discovery team? One of the archaeologists described it perfectly. He said it was like they were watching a movie unfold right before their eyes. Seeing this magnificent submerged city with its palaces and temples, it must have been just beyond belief. And of course, this brings up the biggest question of all. How does a whole city like this just sink beneath the waves? Well, for that answer, we have to turn from the archaeological record to the ancient scriptures, specifically the Hindu texts known as the Puranas, and to the story of the city's divine founder. This brings us to Lord Krishna and the mythological origin of Dwarka. According to the legend, this city was built as a divine safe haven, a refuge from a world that was being torn apart by war. So, the story goes like this. After Lord Krishna defeated his tyrannical uncle, Kansa, in the city of Mathura, things were far from safe. Kansa's father-in-law, a guy named Jarsanda, attacked Mathura an astonishing 17 times. To protect his people, the Yadava clan, Krishna made a huge decision. He led them on a 1,250-kilometer migration all the way to the coast. There, he prayed to the sea god for land, and on that gifted land, the divine architect Vishwakarma built the incredible golden city of Dwarka. Now here's where we find the most startling connection between the myth and reality. The scriptures say the sea god granted Krishna 12 times yojanas of land. A yojana is just an ancient unit of measurement. So when archaeologists measured the perimeter of the submerged ruins they found, it came out to be about 153 kilometers. That's a near-perfect match to the dimensions described in a text that's thousands of years old. Just wow. For a while, Dwarka was everything it was meant to be, a golden age of peace and prosperity for the Yadava clan. But, as with all great stories, this peace was not destined to last. Fate and a series of pretty powerful curses had other plans for this magnificent city. And this is where the story takes a really dark turn. Two powerful prophecies of destruction were set in motion, sealing the fate of not just the city, but of every single person who lived there. So there were two separate curses that basically set the stage for doom. The first came from Gandhari. After losing all 100 of her sons in the great Mahabharata war, she was filled with rage and grief, and she directed it all at Krishna. She cursed his entire Yadava clan to destroy itself in 36 years. The second curse came from a group of sages. They were angered by a disrespectful prank from Krishna's son, Samba, and they cursed him to give birth to the very weapon of that destruction, a solid iron mace. And the sage's prophecy came true in this really terrifying way. Samba actually produced an iron mace. The king, absolutely horrified, had it ground into dust and thrown into the sea, hoping to stop the curse. But fate isn't so easily cheated, right? A fish swallowed the iron particles. A fisherman then caught that fish. and a hunter found the metal inside and forged it into the tip of a deadly, poisonous arrow. The weapon of their destruction was now ready. So, fast forward 36 years after Gandhari's curse, and the final act begins. An entire empire, totally safe from any outside enemy, just began to crumble from the inside, exactly as the prophecies foretold. The end wasn't some glorious battle against an invading army. It was a slow, tragic decay. The Yadava clan, once so noble and strong, descended into decadence and drunkenness. Soon, infighting broke out. Brother turned against brother, and in a complete frenzy of self-destruction, the entire clan wiped itself out. The curses were fulfilled. After witnessing the total annihilation of his people, Lord Krishna understood that his purpose on earth, his earthly Leela or divine play, was finally complete. He retreated all alone into a nearby forest to await his own departure. While he was resting under a peepal tree, that same hunter from our story mistook Krishna's foot for a deer and fired his weapon. That poisonous arrow, the one forged from the cursed mace, struck its final target. With that, Lord Krishna's earthly journey came to an end. And as the last remaining citizens fled the now empty city, the Arabian Sea rose up and reclaimed the golden kingdom of Dwarka, pulling it beneath the waves forever. Which brings us full circle, right back to the divers and archaeologists in our own time. This is that incredible moment where an ancient, epic story converges with modern, scientific discovery. I mean, let's just look at this comparison side by side. The myth talks about a grand city built on the sea. Archaeology finds a vast, planned city submerged in the sea. The myth mentions 12 yojanas of land. The ruins measure a near-perfect match. The myth describes an ancient, powerful kingdom. Artifacts are carbon-dated to be thousands of years old. Point for point, the physical evidence seems to back up the ancient story in ways that are really, really hard to just dismiss as a coincidence. So what happens now? Well, the work is far from over. Research and exploration of the site are still ongoing, with scientists hoping to uncover even more of Dwarka's secrets. And what's really exciting is the plan to eventually develop the site for tourism, which means maybe one day, anyone could witness the wonders of this sunken city for themselves. And that really leaves us with one final profound thought. The story of Dwarka shows us that the line between myth and history can sometimes be incredibly thin. It makes you wonder, if a city this legendary can be real, what other wonders from our ancient past are still out there, just waiting to be rediscovered?